It's Epsom Derby weekend. Starts with the first day being on the Friday, which is little bit unusual in some respects, and finishes with a good Saturday card, which is more of a fun and fanfare than it is about the racing. But the Derby itself is the richest flat race of the whole calendar year. It's still a massive event, and obviously we, as we will do throughout the whole of the summer, continue to cover the cards. So we're going to start by giving you our selections on the Friday, and I think the first race that we're going to cover is the Woodcut. Tom, what do you like?
Yeah, the Woodcut first race for the 2-year-olds. The horse that likes New Charter for Richard Hannon. He's been well found in the market since the odds come out for this race actually, and he's just now a 9-4 favourite. Shaped very well in Newmarket on debut by a good, well-regarded horse in Mountain Breeze for Godolphins, who will go to Royal Ascot with a big chance in something like the Coventry, I would have thought. So that form was very strong. Took a while to warm up that day, kept on very strongly, so he can only improve. And yeah, I don't think this looks the strongest race on paper, so just on that debut promise, I think he can go one better. So maybe New Charter for me.
Okay. I'd take a small gamble that TJ, who won very, very well at, I'm sure he did win, yeah, he did one very, very well at Chester. I really like horses that do well around Chester. I'm not saying the track's exactly the same, but the fact they're on the turn quite a bit means a lot. These horses have not experienced a great deal of this type of track, not that everybody has, but it is quite unique. And I just thought that TJ looked well balanced, well forward for this time of year when he won at Chester, and I think he could take another step forward and do the business there. So I was TJ, and you were?
New Charter.
New Charter, okay. The Coronation Stakes, small but select field. Emily Upjohn is the shortish price favourite. Is she right to be?
100%, yeah. Good record over course and distance. Was just touched off in the Oaks for 3-year-olds behind a horse called Tuesday. Last year won this race. Yeah, reappearance this season was in Maidan, finished good enough 5th in a big field, and yeah, looked like it can come on a lot for that. And I don't think it's the strongest race in the world, so I think she'll have class of rivals here, and definitely a worthy favourite for me. Yeah,
I don't disagree. I'm trying to look for a bit of value for anybody that's interested. I thought Time Lock was the value in the race. Currently the outside of the field, ran okay in a Group 2 at Newmarket behind. I got beaten by a 50-1 shot called Outbox, who just so happens to be a horse that I had a very, very good bet on myself at 50-1. But Time Lock ran well that day. I think that horse could take a step forward. A few of them gets a few pounds, as well as Emily Upjohn for the allowance. And I just thought that any step forward might make that one the one to follow Emily Upjohn home. But I agree with Tom. Emily Upjohn should win this one. So. Yeah. The 345 is a handicap. I know I've put something forward before. That's before the Oaks, isn't it?
Yeah, although I've got massive strong fancy in the race, so I'll let you
okay.
Take over.
Well, I've got one in that was in my notebook that I really impressed me at Newmarket last time. Liberty Lane. It beat Dutch Decoy, who was backed very, very well on the day. I was just really, really taken with the way that that stepped forward. The trainer's given reasons that the step forward was all to do with the ground, and the good ground that it got compared to the previous running on softish ground was where that improvement come from. But I think it looked as if that was a performance that could be built on, and again I just thought at a decent enough price Liberty Lane could go quite well. So not a confident, like strong fancy, but one that I would take on the day. Then we're off to the big race of the day, which is the classic, the Group 1. It's the Oaks. And what was your comment about the Oaks to me just a minute ago?
The Oaks?
Yeah. But it not being the strongest.
I don't think it's the strongest from now. No.
Yeah.
Lang's the favourite, and yeah, ended 2-year-old campaign on a high when they finished mile at Newmarket. Yeah, reappearance in the Guineas, and kind of got lost halfway prior to staying on, putting in some good late work. Aidan O'Brien's been leading their runs, and they've been improving a lot for them. I think the step up and trip is definitely the answer. Yeah, on pedigrees, suggesting all the right signs to get the 1.5 miles, and I think they're crying out for it. So yeah, just keep it simple and
Keep it
go
simple.
blind line for me. So.
I mean, he is very positive about that horse, in fairness. Just as positive as he is about City of Troy the following day. But again, I'm going to take a little punt. Forest Fairy, again, another Chester winner. Won the Cheshire Oaks just beginning of May. Very impressed with the way that this one come past. Didn't break great, so I'll need to do better than that on the day. But come through past beaten rivals and then come upside the Aidan O'Brien hot pot on the day and was able to really wear that one down. I think that on the day that was the better horse, but I'm not sure exactly what's to come. But I know Rafe Beckett is really positive about how good this horse is. Really well bred filly, and I can just see some improvement again. Whether that's good enough to beat the likes of the Yang I don't know, but I would rather probably on the day take a little punt that this 2 from 2 filly can come and make it 3 from 3. So that's day 1. It's only a 2-day meeting, so we're already on to day 2, which is great news. The Saturday is like I said, is where all the fun and fanfare is. It's a really busy day there for those that haven't been before, and we're going to go straight to the second race, is it? I've got
The Diamond.
Oh, you go for the Diamond, mate. Kick off at the start.
Yeah, Highland Avenue for me, for Godolphin. Been run over in May down in Group 1s and 2s. Drops back to Group 3 here. So, yeah, he's just not typically good enough for those sort of races. Performed credit last day in the Group 2. Was second this race last year behind Regal Reality, who reopposes again. I think is your idea of the winner.
Yeah.
But I think we can go one better here and lead from start to finish, which often tries to do so.
Yeah. I love horses with. If you find a horse with Epsom form, winning form, it is something to really keep on side. Certainly because of the specialist nature of the track. Regal Reality finished 3rd behind Passenger and one other Irar, I think it was, in the Huxley. At Chester, again going back to that Chester form, that those types of tracks seem to really suit this horse. Finishing 3rd to those is no mean feat, given the fact that I think Passenger's very well thought of now, and possibly being targeted at some of the big races in open company later on in the year. And I just think that run will put this one spot on to repeat its feat from last year. Ryan Moore's booked again. I think I talk a lot about ticks in boxes. I think there's a lot there for it. And I would actually make Regal Reality my bet for the whole 2 days. But we'll see, because me and Tom are against each other. Just quickly before we move on to the fake dash and the real dash, I just want to say, I also thought in the Princess Elizabeth stakes race that Running Lion, this horse was good enough to win the Pretty Polly back a couple of seasons ago, I think it was. The horse kind of lost its way a little bit, probably campaigned as if he was a Group 1 horse before he was a Group 1 horse. They've kind of dipped their toe back into the Group 3s and Group 2s. This horse is now starting to find its way again. It's got a lot of ability, definitely a lot of ability. Probably will travel better on good ground, and I can see that one going really well. And I think the money's really come for it as well. So I wanted to mention it for that purpose. Finished 2nd last time out in Group 2. And I can see a step forward being taken on Saturday. We'll go back now. Tom, you can start with the fake dash, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a lottery, but Blue Storm is a horse that I quite like in this race. Currently around 16 to 1. Formerly with James Tate, now with Gemma Tussey, who's had 3 runs now, which made a winning sort of start for them, and since then has been well placed. Recently at Chester, behind a horse called Nix, who is also in this race and a lot short in the betting. So I think with a length justifying on that, I mean, he represents a bit of value actually, and he's a natural 5-furlong horse for me, and he's one that could still improve a lot, I think. He's always quite well regarded for James Tate, and sometimes things take a bit of time to find their stride, and type that could relish in a different yard. So yeah, he'd be the one for me. Would probably get 6 places on the race if you look hard enough with the bookies. So maybe even 7.
That's a really good point actually. But make a concession with these races.
Good luck in the market. So
yeah. So there's 2 dashes that for those that view that may notice on the card. One's the first dash, and the other one's called the Aston Martin dash for one reason or another. So I'm going to give you my fancy in that one. I quite like Democracy Dilemma for Rob Cowell. ran really, really well again. You'll notice the theme continues at Chester, finishing second. This is supposed to be the fastest 5 furlongs in the country, and I think he just got touched off on the line on that day at Chester. The ground will not be a concern. The draw is fine, middle of the pack, so this one should get the chance to choose exactly where it wants to go on the day. It really will be a hell for leather sort of race, and I just thought that you can see some improvement coming again from some of these horses, and this was the one I thought might improve beyond this particular race. So I went for Democracy Dilemma, and let's hope and pray that we can get it home. Like Tom said, I agree with that. If you can get the various places, I think Democracy Dilemma is currently 8 to 1 or something like that. So you might be able to get 5-6 places around that one and get paid out for your run. So then the big one, the Derby. Steeped in history, obviously the Derby. There's been that's where most of the great sires have come from modern era. And will we see one from this particular race, do you think?
Well, all the hype's around City Try, isn't it? I just can't back it simply on its reappearance form. Really well and truly beat.
Yeah.
Aidan O'Brien proved last year that he can get a horse back from a bad performance to go home in the Derby, which he did with August Rodin. So, it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world, but it's just definitely not ideal. Los Angeles is the horse I like. I think Ryan Moore's made a mistake here. If you judge them solely on their previous runs, Los Angeles, for me, should be a 2-to-1 favourite. He's 3 out of 3. Won a Group 1 on just his second start, so from a very young sort of age, he proved that the high class was there. I think he's got less to prove than most. He won his Derby trial and reappearance at Leopardstown. They kept on really strongly. It suggests the 1.5 miles is absolutely no problem whatsoever. And I think he's going to give Aidan O'Brien his 10th Derby. So.
Yeah, I can ask you a question about it. I'll put this to you. If City of Troy was 5 to 1, would you back it?
No, not at all. No.
Okay.
I think he's turned up like a horse that should be on. 16 to 1.
Yeah.
Reputation alone naturally makes him shorter. So look, it wouldn't be the hugest shock if he went on to win it, would it? But
Aidan is a genius after all, isn't he?
He is. There's no better.
And you can't
after
after basically the exact same situation from last year with Auguste Rodin, you kind of can't ignore what he's saying. But I agree with Tom. I think he's worth taking on. He's too short for what he's recently done, and that means he'd have to carry someone else's money, not ours. But I don't actually have a strong opinion on the Derby, to be honest, but the one that I am going to side with is Ambient Friendly for James Fanshawe. A lot has been said in the press over the last sort of week or so that they've taken the owners have taken the option to jock off Callum Shepherd. Is it Callum Shepherd? Yeah, it's Callum Shepherd, isn't it? Who rode the horse previously to win in the Lingfield Derby trial, which is an important trial. It's been pretty lively over the years and not necessarily produced winner after winner, but definitely horses that have gone on to do bigger and better things. Rab Havlin isn't it? Has been jocked up. I'm not sure there's much between the two jockeys, but one thing I will say is Rab Havlin is definitely more experienced. He's ridden probably 10 derbies probably over the years, I guess. He is a shrewd. He's been riding for the Gosdens for God knows how long on the flat, and I just think that the performance that this one put in at Lingfield was reasonably impressive. It was a massive step forward from what he'd done previously, and I just thought, it was worth having a few quid on the day if that one was going to go off at a decent price. So that's where my pin lied on the day. So look, what does the Derby sort of, where does it rank in the order of Tom merit, if you like, throughout the year? Is it a big one for you?
It's well up there, isn't it? Yeah. Everyone looks forward to the Derby, don't they? Even though they're obviously the most prestigious race in the calendar, really. I mean, obviously they only get one crack at these freehold classics, don't they? So there's no room for error, really. So they're the future, obviously, down the breeding sort of perspective as well.
Yeah. That's what it means more about now,
aren't they? So
well, look, we will watch with interest. We will watch with interest, and Tom's Los Angeles for the win. I'll take a small punt on Ambient Friendly, but Regal Reality would be my bet of the 2 days. So the fingers crossed between us we get something right, and enjoy the Derby, enjoy whatever you're doing.
Good luck.
Cheers.